Chaos in Sansad as opposition seeks debate. Opposition's massive stir against centre.
आओ प्राइम मिनिस्टर स्टेटमेंट करो. आप बाहर प्रेस करते हो, अंदर करने में क्या गया?
The Prime Minister should give a comprehensive statement in both houses of Parliament, and this should be followed by a discussion.
Home Minister Shah tears into opposition.
पूरे देश के सामने सच्चाई
Shah roars, ready for debate in Parliament.
सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं. मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष क्यों चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता.
Mega display of opposition unity in Parliament. Top focus on 5 Live.
Truman needs to know what's next.
2,
What's next?
1.
Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer faces flack.
Keep everyone there until it's done.
Row over controversial Bhagavad Gita scene.
You can't do in your head. What is saying there?
INB minister warns of action against CBFC. Seen to be removed from Oppenheimer.
This is a matter of life and death. I can perform this miracle.
Oppenheimer Gita Rao.
Well, I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but there's a big fight over a particular scene in this Christopher Nolan blockbuster that everyone is eked up about. Well, parts of those controversies are familiar to us here in India, but could this big movie now be censored here in India? That's the big question we're going to ask at 5:30 p.m. First, the headlines. Sacked Gehlot Mantri Rajendra Gudha, marshalled out of the Rajasthan Assembly, says he's got a red diary with incriminating proof against the Gehlot government in Rajasthan. BJP cries foul, claims Gehlot stands exposed. Rajasthan goes to the elections this year. Crackdown on fake news in Manipur. CPM leader Subhashini Ali booked for tweeting out a picture of 2 men in RSS uniform and falsely identifying them as the gang rape accused from that viral video from a few days ago. Big relief for the Muslim side. Top court orders 2-day stay on Archaeological Survey of India's Gyanvapi Mosque survey. Muslim side given time to move High Court against the survey. Elon Musk says goodbye to the iconic blue bird logo. Twitter is rebranded as X. Iconic bird logo officially replaced. Nobody knows for certain what this means. We'll try and investigate at 5:45. Few things have united India's opposition in recent days like the Manipur crisis. And why not? After the opposition upped the ante against the centre for the second day running, Home Minister Amit Shah has torn into the INDIA alliance. Breathing fire, the government has stated that it is ready for a debate on Manipur in Parliament, that the opposition is finding all possible ways to disrupt parliamentary proceedings and is not actually looking forward to a debate. He urged the opposition to let a debate take place as citizens of the country deserve to know the truth about what's happening in Manipur. The opposition has been persistently demanding Prime Minister Modi's reply in Parliament. The Parliament's monsoon session began with a ruckus today by the opposition as they demanded the Prime Minister's reply on the viral video that has become the terrifying face of Manipur violence. Well, not just that, the opposition wants a debate allowing all parties to speak without any time restriction. In other words, not a limited or short debate, but an unlimited, lengthy discussion by all parties in Parliament. Well, before the Parliament session began, the opposition formed a united front against the BJP and staged big protests near the Gandhi statue in the Parliament complex. Those images that you can see there. Well, with the BJP staging a counter-protest against the opposition for being silent on atrocities that have taken place in places like Rajasthan and Bengal, this has become an ill-tempered government versus opposition fight on an issue that must, in all angles, unite the political system.
मेरा विपक्ष के सभी सम्मानीय सदस्यों से मेरा आग्रह है कि एक बहुत संवेदनशील मुद्दे पर काफी सदस्यों ने सत्ताधारी दल के और विपक्ष के दोनों ओर के सदस्य ने चर्चा की मांग की है। मैं सदन में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं। मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष क्यों चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता है। मेरा विपक्ष के नेता को आग्रह है कि चर्चा होने दे और इस महत्वपूर्ण मसले पर पूरे देश के सामने सच्चाई जाए, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
आओ प्राइम मिनिस्टर स्टेटमेंट करो। आप बाहर प्रेस करते हो, अंदर करने में क्या गया? हाँ, ये कर्टसी डिमांड है कि 140 करोड़ का नेता अगर बाहर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करता है और 1 से 40 करोड़ लोगों के प्रतिनिधि अंदर बैठे हैं, तो आप पहले यहाँ पर स्टेटमेंट दो, उस पर चर्चा होने दो, उसके बाद में हम लोग एक निर्णय लेंगे।
पीड़ा व्यक्त करने का ये एकदम नेचुरल है। सारे देश पीड़ा व्यक्त कर रहे हैं। जब हम चर्चा के लिए तैयार है, हम हाथ जोड़ के मांग रहे हैं चर्चा करो और चर्चा से कुछ निष्कर्ष निकालने का कोशिश करेंगे। ये तो हम बार बार मांग रहे हैं। मैं और सारे देश आज भी और सरकार भी हम समझ ये नहीं पा रहे हैं कि वो चर्चा से क्यों भाग रहे हैं।
हम सिर्फ राजस्थान को लेके नहीं खड़े हैं, हम मणिपुर के गुनहगारों को भी सजा हो, राजस्थान के भी गुनहगारों को सजा हो, पश्चिम बंगाल के भी गुनहगारों को सजा हो, छत्तीसगढ़ झारखंड के भी बेटियों के बलात्कारियों को सजा हो। ये कह रहे नहीं, राजस्थान में जो बलात्कार कर रहे हैं वो मर्द हैं और ये सारे लोग उसका सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं।
We are demanding, all the opposition India parties are demanding for Prime Minister's reply. You see BJP MPs, 8 MPs are standing there to just create problem there. This is not the right way. Where are the 400 MPs party, 300 MPs party, BJP, having 8 MPs to have a symbolic these things and others. The real protest, people's anger is there. India parties are united against this violence in Manipur. Prime Minister should come to Parliament and answer.
I think the issue can be easily resolved by the Prime Minister appearing in the House of which he is a member and to which he is accountable. What he said to the press he can say here, and then the debate can start, and the Home Minister presumably be the person who at that point can attend the rest of the debate. But for the Prime Minister to refuse to come at all, he was elected to this House. He should come.
एक व्यवस्थित तरीके से देश के सामने जो भी ऐसे विषय है उस पर सदन चर्चा करे, लेकिन विपक्ष इससे भाग रही है और सदन को बाधित कर रही है।
अभी मालदा में सरे बाजार में एक महिला को, जवान महिला को निर्वस्त्र करके जिस तरह से पीटा गया, उसका वीडियो वायरल हुआ है, सारी दुनिया ने देखा है। उसके बाद कुछ बिहार में एक 15 साल की लड़की के साथ में गैंगरेप हुआ, उसकी बड़ी बुरी हालत है और वो हॉस्पिटल में है। महिला मंत्री है, मुख्यमंत्री हैं हमारे यहाँ पर, उनको दर्द नहीं है, नाम है ममता, किंतु दर्द नहीं है, तकलीफ नहीं है।
ये जो एक प्रयास चल रहा है कि मणिपुर से अटेंशन डाइवर्ट करके राजस्थान, छत्तीसगढ़ या बंगाल पे वो अटेंशन डाइवर्ट करके ले जाए, मैं बस इतना ही कहूंगा कि बंगाल में 3 महीना से इंटरनेट चल रही है। बंगाल में स्थिति स्वाभाविक है। आपको अगर लगता है कि बंगाल में स्थिति खराब है और मणिपुर में बेहतर है, अब मणिपुर में इंटरनेट चलवा दो।
देना चाहिए। प्रधानमंत्री क्यों छुप के बैठे हुए हैं? प्रधानमंत्री को सामने आना चाहिए। अगर मणिपुर जल रहा है तो जनता कहाँ जाए? जनता तो अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी के पास ही जाएगी। तो प्रधानमंत्री जी को सामने आके समस्या को समाधान करना चाहिए और संभालना चाहिए।
ये मामला राज्यों का नहीं, महिलाओं का है। ये किसी की बेटी है, किसी की माँ है, किसी की बहन है। ये राज्यों की कंपटीशन नहीं है। किसी भी राज्य में हो तो गलत है।
हम क्या मांग रहे हैं? चांद नहीं मांग रहे हैं। हम कह रहे हैं मेरे देश के प्रधानमंत्री, जो मेरे भी प्रधानमंत्री हैं, उनकी छवि के लिए भी ये बेहतर है कि वो दोनों सदनों में आए, अपनी संवेदना पीड़ा का इजहार करें और राजनीतिक संतुलन के बगैर कि ये साधने के तराजू में रख करके नहीं। एक बार वो हो जाए ना, हम सब चर्चा के लिए तैयार हैं। बाकी जब सरकार कहती है ना चर्चा के लिए तैयार है, तो मुझे इच्छा होती है उनसे कहूं, साहब आप बीमार हो रहे हैं, आप लोग स्वस्थ होइए।
मणिपुर के विषय में इंटरनेशनली सब लोग चर्चा कर रहे हैं, हमारे देश में नहीं हो रहा। इससे ज्यादा मैं क्या कह सकती हूँ? इट्स अ शेम। चर्चा वो कराना नहीं चाहते।
आपको ऐसा लगता है कि
और हाउस के अंदर आप जो स्टेट्स की बात कर रहे हैं वो आपके स्ट्रांग ओपोनेंट्स हैं। आप उनकी बात कर रहे हैं। आपके राज्य में क्या हो रहा है? आपके स्टेट्स में क्या हो रहा है? यूपी, मध्य प्रदेश, आप बताइए। बाकी जो कुछ भी उनका बचा है आगे तो बचेगा भी नहीं।
Well, the drama in Parliament has also resulted in certain high-level suspensions in the House. Aam Aadmi Party Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh has been suspended for the entire monsoon session after angry exchanges with the Rajya Sabha chairman Jagdeep Dhankar. Sanjay Singh was standing in the well of the House when he apparently obstructed the proceedings and behaved in an unruly manner. According to the House, Union Minister Piyush Goyal moved this suspension motion against Sanjay Singh soon after he allegedly misbehaved with the chair. The Union Minister, while moving that suspension motion, stated that such behavior isn't acceptable and that Parliament has to function beyond just disruptions. The opposition has called it nothing but a bid to silence Team INDIA's voice.
This kind of behavior coming into the hall and disturbing the House is completely against the ethics and rules of the House. And I would urge the Chair to take the necessary action against Mr. Sanjay Singh. The government wishes to move a motion for the suspension of Mr. Sanjay Singh for the remainder period of the House. Move your motion. Sir, I move the motion that Mr. Sanjay Singh, who has been named by the Chair, be hereby suspended for the rest of the duration of the rest of the session until the last day of this current session.
The motion is Shri Sanjay Singh be suspended for the entire duration of this session for having repeatedly violated directive of the chair. If the House approves it,
So the Gandhi statue was the epicenter of the entire protest today, and then it culminated in this. You can see that Sanjay Singh, along with the other opposition MPs who are right here taking roster duties, a rally or a relay perhaps of protest here by several India Alliance MPs, and then apparently the BRS also joining the bandwagon. And the posters say it all. It's all about Manipur and the suspension of Sanjay Singh. So let's take it from him who's in the eye of the storm. Sanjay ji, कब तक ये protest चलेगा आप लोग का?
प्रधानमंत्री को सदन में आके जवाब देना पड़ेगा। और मैं सिर्फ एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूं कि मोदी जी आखिर जवाब देने से क्यों भाग रहे हैं। कारगिल के युद्ध में शामिल एक रिटायर्ड सूबेदार वो ये कह रहे हैं कि मैंने देश की तो रक्षा की, अपनी पत्नी की रक्षा नहीं कर पाया। इससे ज्यादा दुखद बात क्या हो सकती है? नंगा करके परेड कराया जा रहा है महिलाओं को, बच्चों का कत्ल किया जा रहा है, घर जलाए जा रहे हैं, स्कूल जलाए जा रहे हैं, रिलीफ कैंप्स में लोग रह रहे हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि इतनी बड़ी त्रासदी के बाद भी अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी चुप हैं तो एक संवेदनहीन शासक के रूप में प्रधानमंत्री ने अपने आप को देश के सामने प्रस्तुत किया है। 267 की नोटिस मैंने दिया था, 27 और लोगों ने नोटिस दिया था। 15-20 मिनट तक हम लोग अनुरोध करते रहे, अपने चेयर से खड़े होकर अनुरोध करते रहे कि 267 की मणिपुर हिंसा के नोटिस पे चर्चा कराई, नहीं चर्चा कराई गई। और जब मैं चेयर के पास गया तो मुझे सस्पेंड कर दिया।
करीब
members of the opposition to initiate a discussion, a debate on the issue afflicting the state of Manipur. Amit Shah ji has repeatedly said that in both houses of parliament, he as Minister in charge of Home Affairs would like to bring certain facts to light. That the discussion is important from a perspective of national security, internal security, that this discussion, this debate is also expected by citizens of our country who elect us to Parliament so that issues of national importance can be productively discussed. What is shocking is the insistence of the opposition parties to not allow facts to come to the fore. देवी और सज्जनों, आज आपके माध्यम से मैं राष्ट्र के हर नागरिक को देश की संसद में आदरणीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी के वक्तव्य से अवगत पुनः कराना चाहती हूं। गृह मंत्रालय की ओर से मणिपुर में कानून व्यवस्था के संदर्भ में, आंतरिक सुरक्षा के संदर्भ में देश के माननीय गृह मंत्री जी दोनों सदनों में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हैं। हम अचंभित हैं कि विपक्ष मणिपुर पे चर्चा से भाग रही है। देश की जनता जनप्रतिनिधियों को संसद में चुनकर इस दायित्व के साथ लाती है कि गंभीर मुद्दों पर संवैधानिक और सुरक्षा और साथ ही साथ राष्ट्रीय मुद्दों पर हम संसद में चर्चा करें। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता आज राष्ट्र को आश्वस्त करना चाहते हैं कि देश के गृह मंत्री दोनों सदनों में चर्चा के लिए तैयार हैं। प्रश्न ये उठता है कि विपक्ष मणिपुर से संबंधित घटनाओं पर चर्चा करने की बजाय उस चर्चा से संबंधित मंत्री द्वारा चर्चा से क्यों भाग रही है? I'll now leave the floor open for questions. हाँ जी, आपके 3 प्रश्न हैं विविध विषयों पर। पहला प्रश्न कि कांग्रेस पार्टी क्यों माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी पर अभद्र टिप्पणी कर रही है। कांग्रेस पार्टी और कांग्रेस पार्टी से संबंधित व्यक्ति ये सोच रखते हैं कि जिस डायनेस्टी के छत्र छाया में वो अपना राजनीतिक जीवन जी रहे हैं, उस एक परिवार को विशेष नरेंद्र मोदी जी का अपमान पसंद आएगा। इसलिए मैं अचंभित नहीं हूं कि कांग्रेस के एक ऐसे नेता ने आपत्तिजनक टिप्पणी सिर्फ प्रधानमंत्री जी पर नहीं, बल्कि उनकी माताजी जिनका स्वर्गवास हो चुका है, उन पर भी इस प्रकार की अमानवीय टिप्पणी की है। पहले भी मीडिया के माध्यम से हम कांग्रेस और कांग्रेस समर्थकों के मुख से नरेंद्र मोदी जी को मौत के घाट उतारने वाले वाक्य सुन चुके हैं। गालियों की श्रृंखला में एक और वाक्य पुनः जोड़ा है कांग्रेस के एक नेता ने। मुझे कोई उम्मीद नहीं है गांधी खानदान से कि वो प्रधानमंत्री जी और उनकी स्वर्गीय मां पर हुई इस अभद्र टिप्पणी पर कोई भी कार्रवाई करेंगे, बल्कि मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि अभद्र टिप्पणी करने वालों को जरूर गांधी खानदान पुरस्कृत करेगा। आपका दूसरा प्रश्न था लाल डायरी पर। मैं स्तब्ध हूं ये जानते हुए कि एक संवैधानिक पद पर बैठा मुख्यमंत्री एक जनप्रतिनिधि को निर्देश करता है कि सेंट्रल एजेंसी की इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जाकर वो खलल दे और एविडेंस चुराकर भागे। एक, ये केस ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन ऑफ जस्टिस का है। दूसरा, डायरी लाल हो, पीली हो या हरी, अब यह साफ हो चुका है कि उस डायरी में लिप्त हैं कांग्रेस के काले कारनामे। आपका देवेंद्र जी एक और प्रश्न है, लेकिन अगर सारे प्रश्न आप पूछेंगे तो आपके बाकी साथियों के पास प्रश्न पूछने का समय बचेगा नहीं।
यतीन्द्र, टीवी 18।
जी, मंत्रालय में अहमदिया समुदाय से निवेदन प्राप्त हुआ कि उन्हें एक राज्य के वक्फ बोर्ड ने काफिर घोषित कर दिया है। मैं अल्पसंख्यक मंत्री के नाते ये स्पष्ट कर देना चाहती हूं, देश का कोई भी कानून वक्फ बोर्ड को यह इजाजत नहीं देता
Now, while that ill-tempered opposition versus government politics simmers in the national capital, India Today continues to be the only channel reporting not just from Manipur, but the places in Manipur where all of that violence has taken place. And I don't say this lightly, the only channel reporting from inside Churachandpur, the relief camps and the places where the worst atrocities have taken place. This used to be one of the most beautiful states in the northeast, and it continues to be, but it has burnt now for over 80 days. After the 4th of May incident that emerged in a video only recently, things have gone rapidly downhill and made things even more precarious. India Today reports fearlessly from the ground. Watch this report by my colleague Ashutosh Mishra in Churachandpur.
Manipur remains on edge amid outbreaks of violence nearly 3 months after it all began.
India today is at ground zero in Manipur, in Torbang, where this Saturday more than 12 hours of heavy firing was reported between two communities. The ethnic violence that is flaring up for the last 3 months, there is no end to it. In fact, here at this place last night there was massive firing from both the sides, and in fact several houses to this side of the road have been burned, set ablaze. When the firing was taking place, the people from one community enters to village of the another community, and here they have set this house on fire. Still I can see the smoke coming out. This entire part of this house is now totally burned to ashes. That says the reality and the situation at ground zero.
The spate of ethnic clashes has brought a civil war-like situation, with rival groups resorting to armed vigilantism. In Churachandpur's Torbang, young men have taken up arms.
How has been the situation for last 4 months, and how are you dealing with it?
We are guarding our village and our land to protect from the bandits. We are facing lots of difficulties. We love our lands and our village. That's why we are protecting and we are defending.
India today is at ground zero in Torbang, and the situation is so vulnerable that I could say this is no less than a war zone. In the same country, in the same state, in the same district, but the divided people in the line of community just across the road has become line of control. And here these bunkers are literally being made from the people of different communities. They are guarding their area. These young boys risking their lives, putting literally their life in risk, and using these single barrel gun and double barrel guns. Look at these amount of bullets that they have here. This all, often it takes 10 to 12 hours of firing, heavy firing. And if you can see these 10 boys in a rotation for 48 hours, literally.
With no internet, locals are using wireless walkie-talkies to communicate.
This is another bunker, another check post, if I could say, rather literally, that you see what happens at the line of control when two enemy nations stands against each other like these kind of check posts with heavy artillery, heavy weapons. All I see here, these young boys have literally made a check post. That's the duty post made by these volunteers with these kind of signatures literally, and a wireless communication device, because often this area is interrupted by network. This is how they communicate with each other to pass messages. That's the way of communication these people have adopted here. Small wireless system, walkie-talkie being used, and this is how they communicate from one post to another. If there is a firing reported, then there is a retaliation from one side to another amidst the allegation of counter accusations and accusations. All I see here, some messages being passed from the other check post. They are communicating with each other. And here you see all again the weapons. Around 21 people at this duty post lined up their weapons, and every time from this check post they continue to monitor their enemy. All I see in these images, just barely a kilometer, not more than 2 kilometers, I see a village which belongs to the Meitei community. And perhaps they have also this similar bunkers where they keep eye on their counterparts. This is no less than a war zone. This is the conflict in Manipur. Often we see the helicopters, the Mi-17 flying over. You can only be heard. That's the operations by the central forces, by the administration, but all you see is ground zero is the really conflicting situation. That's a very disturbing to see. These people who are supposed to be working somewhere, going to colleges, going to schools, have picked up arms in Manipur.
India today had a close shave while reporting from the conflict epicenter when indiscriminate firing rocked the already tense area.
As we are in Torbang area of Manipur, some 40 kilometers from Imphal, we were en route to Chandrapur, and while coming back, all of a sudden there was a massive firing we have seen being reported in this area. There you see the Assam Rifles Casper vehicle, a bulletproof vehicle escorting us all to the safer places. All of a sudden there were multiple rounds were fired, shots including AK-47s, and those shots, this is how the vehicles are protecting us, guarding to the safer places area. That's the national highway, and these kind of the bulletproof jackets required to save us from this area. All this in the entire national highway stretch is being deserted, and this is exactly the place where even on Saturday night there was massive firing. Look at this, all these barricading would place. So on the one side of the road there are Kuki community, on the other side there are Meitei community, and there have been massive firing. ये सिचुएशन बेटर होने की कोई उम्मीद लगती है आपको?
पता नहीं, वो तो हम लोग बोल नहीं सकता अभी क्या सिचुएशन होगा और कैसे होगा, तो गवर्नमेंट एक्शन लेना पड़ेगा.
The ethnic strife among Meiteis and Kukis turning a beautiful state into a blood-soaked war zone.
One is not supposed to even enter this area.
India Today continues to be the only channel reporting from the heart of this unfolding tragedy. With Ashutosh Mishra in Churachandpur, Manipur, Bureau Report, India Today.
It's one of the most anticipated films, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, and the protagonist in the film, the man who invented the atomic bomb, is someone who was well versed with the Bhagavad Gita, and that is reflected in the film. But why has Oppenheimer and the Bhagavad Gita and that link first gone viral? Well, it's thanks to this video that's gotten a new lease of life in the wake of this new film. First look at J. Robert Oppenheimer, the inventor of the American atomic bomb, quoting from the Hindu scripture. Take a look.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
This is a national emergency.
Detonator charged.
We're in a race against the Nazis.
Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer might have wreaked havoc at the box office, but the film is now courting controversy after netizens pointed out how Oppenheimer in the film appears to have sex as he reads out verses from the Bhagavad Gita. Social media users, in fact, are now even sorting its removal from the latest film. Government of India Information Commissioner Uday Mahurkar also wrote an open letter to Nolan and termed the scene as a disturbing attack on Hinduism, and even appealed to the filmmaker to remove the scene globally. The sequence has sparked quite a stir online. One user called for a boycott of the film, while another wrote that the film mocks Hinduism. The film chronicles the journey of American theoretical physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, who oversaw the creation of the atomic bomb during World War II. Oppenheimer headed the secret Los Alamos laboratory established under President Franklin D. Roosevelt as part of the Manhattan Project to build the first atomic bomb. He is said to have been influenced by the Bhagavad Gita and quoted a verse from the Holy Scripture in an interview while describing the first detonation of nuclear weapon back in 1945.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world? This is a matter of life and death. I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
That's happening, isn't it?
So Oppenheimer might have uttered the words, but its placement seems to have irked Indian fans. The film is currently running successfully in theatres and earned over 50 crore rupees in India. The film became the highest grossing Hollywood opener of 2023 in the country. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
And joining me live now is Uday Mahurkar. He is Information Commissioner with the Government of India. He's also founder of the Save Culture, Save India Foundation, through which the issue of the Bhagavad Gita being depicted in this manner in Oppenheimer was raised for the first time. And it has obviously had an impact, because today you've heard from the Information and Broadcast Minister, who is apparently angry with the Central Board for Film Certification, or the Censor Board, asking them why they allowed this scene to pass. Udayji, namaste. Thank you very much for your time and for being with us here on India Today. First of all, Udayji, what has offended you about this? Our viewers want to know, why are you so upset and angry about the Bhagavad Gita depicted in this manner in this film? Please tell us, sir.
You see, showing a scripture of the level of Bhagavad Gita, which has the knowledge, the vision to show a new vision to the entire world, not just the Hindu community, showing it, somebody having sex and reading verses from Bhagavad Gita, it is an insult to not just Hindu, but the entire civilization values of this country,
But why do you say that?
It is something which is... No.
Yes,
what I am saying is, there is no mention, Oppenheimer drawing inspiration from Bhagavad Gita is a well-known thing. But there is no mention of any such thing which has been shown in this particular scene. Number one, it is totally unwarranted. Number two, it is an insult. How can you show a holy scripture being read by somebody while having sex? I think there cannot be greater insult than this. Shiv.
Sir, you've registered your anger in this way. Do you think that the way forward is for this scene to be censored? Do you think that the scene should be cut, or should people have a choice whether they want to see it?
Absolutely.
And have the right to be offended by it?
No. You see, the argument against this, in favor of this scene, is totally unwarranted. It has no justification. If you are showing these things in the name of creative freedom, I think it is not justified at all. And can you take such liberties with certain other communities? That is my question. So
there would be...
It's totally unjustified. It has no ground.
Okay.
Our demand is, today also I have tweeted, while welcoming Anurag Thakurji's action, I have said that we expect a similar prompt action from the director Christopher Nolan, and he should delete this scene worldwide, not just in India.
Okay, not just in India. I doubt that will happen. We'll have to see about what happens in India. But Udayji, there are some who will push back, because this is an emotive issue. As you rightly said, this plays on the sentiments of people. And, when it comes to the sentiments of people and religion, there are no blacks and whites. Many people have different views. There are some who will say, what is wrong with depicting something like this in a scene depicting sex? Indian traditions have the Kama Sutra and Khajuraho and things like that. So what is intrinsically disrespectful about it? There are those who will say that, sir.
No. Is there a Kama Sutra element in Gita? One should have read Gita first to be able to comment. Gita is a great book.
Yeah.
As I told you, it's a book for the entire humanity, not just for Hindu community, Is there any mention of any such thing in Gita? Kama Sutra is something on Kama. How do you justify that by putting a scene involving Gita? So those who are for creative freedom and anything that can be done in the name of creative freedom, they will defend it. But there is a vast section of people who are opposing it. And today, as I understand, the collection of the film has also gone down. That is what I heard from somebody. One other film is doing better than Oppenheimer today.
Okay, we're not aware of that. But Udayji, also, you know, a point that you made earlier in one of your answers was about, and I actually agree with you, that this kind of thing does happen on a fairly regular basis with Hindu scriptures, the Hindu religion. You never see it happen with others because consequences have been quite apparent, not just here in India, but across the world, you know, when there are, you know, when certain other religions are depicted in a certain way. Is that what this is about, sir? Is it about the selectivity of depictions rather than the depiction itself?
It is about two things. One, to earn more money to make a picture popular by adding such controversial scenes, that is one. And two, I don't know which is more responsible for this. Other is to put down Hindu community. We have been seeing it very with unerring regularity, you know. And same doesn't happen with some other religions where they know that they'll have to pay the consequences, you know. So there is something which is selective about it. Nobody can deny it.
Okay.
I'm sure even Christopher Nolan would not have taken this liberty had it been with, say, Muslim community. I'm very confident about that.
Uday Mahurkar ji, you raised this issue. The INB minister has taken cognizance of it. Has practically issued notice to the censor board asking why they, passed a scene of this kind. So we'll have to see now whether censorship kicks in and this scene is deleted from India. You're saying that your demand is for there to be a global censorship and for Christopher Nolan to step in and apologize as well.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Uday Mahurkar ji, for joining me here on India Today. It's an issue that is soaked in sentiment. We'll have to see where it goes. A big blockbuster and the world's largest democracy where a section feels offended. We'll come back to that story and update you depending on what the government and the censor board decide to do. But before I leave today on 5 Live, I would be remiss not to tell you about how Twitter, our beloved Twitter, is now called X. Elon Musk's obsession with the letter X is not new, from SpaceX to Tesla Model X to even naming some of his children X. The Twitter rebranding that's taken place, open your phone, look at it, is only the latest in a series of X factors in Musk's personal and professional life. Watch this report.
Elon Musk is continuing his career-long fascination with the letter X as he announces a dramatic rebranding of Twitter. Musk's affinity for the letter in both his professional and personal life has been growing for 25 years, though he has rarely ever given a reason. One of the Musk's first ventures was known as X.com, first launched by Musk as an online banking and financial services platform in 1999. A year later, he was forced to step down from his role as CEO of the firm. 3 years later, he made $165 million when the site, by then merged with PayPal, was bought by eBay. Musk would later buy the domain X.com back from PayPal in 2017. That site now directs people to Twitter. That domain was Musk's first major use of letter X, but not his last.
3, 2, 1.
Musk is also the founder and CEO of SpaceX, which is formerly known as Space Exploration Technologies Corporation. Tesla, where Musk is CEO, sells the Model X, which went on commercial sale in 2016. The car, a mid-size luxury crossover SUV, is recognizable by its Falcon doors. Musk also infamously brought the letter into his personal life, giving his son the letter as a nickname. Musk and his former partner, the musician Grimes, raised eyebrows in May 2020 when they revealed the name of their newborn son, XAE-A12. The billionaire is said to have given the little boy 3 the nickname X for short. How will this X factor now impact Twitter and his future? Only Elon Musk knows. Bureau Report, India Today.